Yeah, so, look, I got me a cigarette, I bought a cigarette, somebody gave me a cigarette, I paid 50 cents for it. See, I picked up some cigarettes off the ground. They were like, why you picking them cigarettes up off the ground? Look at these little pieces of cigarette. They like, why you pick them cigarettes up off the ground like this? I'm like, I had to get them out the ashtray. You know what I'm saying? They were like, why you pick them cigarettes up off the ground like that? And so I'm like, well, first of all, it's like community service because when you picking up cigarettes off the ground, it's like you cleaning up the streets. And then at the same time, I'd rather pick up cigarettes off the ground, and then, I have to take the filter off it where other people be to put their mouth in and stuff like that. And take the cigarettes off the ground, and then I have to smoke it like that. No, it's just a cigarette. They be like, where your wife at? Or where your people or your family at that said it, somebody said somebody said that she was your wife's sister or that she was your wife's sister. And it was like, it don't really make sense to me. It was like, I have a marriage license and it says 2004. See, I have a marriage license and it says 2004. Right there, the date. They said in the year of 2004, April 30th of 2004, any other people that said they was a sister or they told me that they was a sister of the person who said that she my wife, none of them didn't have a marriage license or a marriage certificate to anybody that they said that they was married to at that time. So then it's like, so they basically didn't support my marriage. If you picking up cigarettes off the ground, like what was they doing the whole time while me being a husband, being married, picking up cigarettes off the ground, you know, instead of making a girl go to work or something like that as a sex worker or a hooker or something like that. I'd be like, nah, I just pick up cigarettes off the ground. If I don't got it, then I just have to get it some other way. So I'm like, this is evidence. Because they're like, don't do nothing of this if you're ashamed of it. So it's like, when people were saying that they was like her sister and stuff like that, I had made some on the type. I used to say the same thing. It's like, how was you being a sister, of my wife? Because they said when you said your wife, when she said that your wife's sister, she was acknowledging that I am married and that somebody is my wife. So when she was acknowledging that somebody is my wife, it'd be like, if she don't have evidence of being a sister, you doing what sisters do. Support it. Like, well, if she was a sister of your wife, then why are you picking up cigarettes off the ground? Like, who your wife work for if she not working for you? It's the husband. You shouldn't have to be picking up cigarettes off the ground. You paid the rent the whole month. You been married the whole time. You never made a girl into a single mom or a single mother or whatever they call it. And it was like, that's the love. That's the love that they was looking for. They said, what love? They said, if every girl is someone's daughter, if every girl is someone's daughter, if every girl is the daughter of a male, her dad, and the daughter of a female, her mom, then I showed love to every male and every female when being 39 years old today. I never made any one of their daughters into a single mother. Every male will show love when I didn't make their daughter into a single mother. Every female will show love when I didn't make their daughter into a single mother. Now, if that's not love, I don't know what it is, so I don't know why anyone would have ever been mad at me. They got mad at me for stuff that they did to me. It's like, so being married and stuff like that, different people being used in the name that it says April RASHON Williams, my marriage license says, you see. And then when I told, it's like somebody, you know, was using the name and the identity and stuff like that. And they did stuff to me and tried hurting me, you know, like my private parts and stuff like that in my body. Basically, they sexually abused me. And it was not my wife, you know, and but they was using her identity, you know, or the identity that my marriage license say, that name. And I don't know why they would do that, you know. If every girl is someone's daughter, didn't I show love to every male, you know, every dad when I didn't make their daughter into a single mom? Didn't I show love to every female, you know, every mom when I didn't make their daughter into a single mother? Why would they be mad at me for being married? That don't make sense. And if somebody said they was the sister of my wife in April 30th, 2004, when I got a marriage license, you know, it's evidence of me being married is what they say. Why would anybody, you know, like what else, what other marriage would her sister have had to support? What would her sister have been? Who would her sister have been showing love to? Like, how was you showing love to your sister if you weren't showing love to the marriage of your sister? You know what I'm saying? They like, Brandon, that's my name. They like, do you have any evidence of a sister showing you any love in any kind of way? Because they was like, if you love your sister, you know, and you say that you my wife's sister, then what love did you show my wife when she got married? You know, saying, you know, why would you try making my wife feel bad about the husband she chose me? Why would you try making my wife feel bad about the husband she chose me? Why would you have abused the marriage of me for being married and used different people with the name April and stuff like that? Like, being married is not a crime, but using the same name, April RASHON Williams, and different people using the same identity and different people sexually abusing me, falsely claiming as my wife when they are not my wife, you know, is abuse, you know. And it's like, when they look at my criminal background, they're like, I never pressed any charges against a female ever in life. So if these girls are females and females, why would they have abused a person who never pressed charges against a female ever in life? Why would they have abused a person who never made any girl into a single mother? Never made any girl into a single mom? You know, it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm 39 years old today, and a lot of different girls, you know, tried getting me in a sexual relationship with them. Some of them wanted me getting a divorce. Some of them wanted me marrying them. So it's like, when different people wanted me being with them, being married or sex related and stuff like that, it don't make sense, you know, since I never made a girl into a single mom. It's like, wasn't that showing love to every dad, every male when I didn't make a girl into a single mom? Wasn't that showing love to every female, every mom when I didn't make a girl into a single mom? So it was like, it seems very bad what they did to me. They got mad at me for stuff they said to me. They got mad at me for stuff that they did to me. They got mad at me because they locked me up. They got mad at me because they beat me up. They got mad at me because they stole money from me. You know, I'm in a wheelchair for goodness sake. You know what I'm saying? I have to walk with a cane and stick outside. You know, I done showed the scars before, but you know, I can show it again. See, that's my leg. See, it's like they cut my whole leg open ever since I was a child. I was sexually abused ever since I was like in elementary school. It was people that said that they was a family and stuff like that. And I always told, you know, because I was like, you rather be smoking these cigarettes that you picked up off the ground than be doing drugs or crack or crystal meth and stuff like that. They say it's not your fault, Brandon, that you don't know where your wife is and that some people was being mean to me. It's not my fault if instead of being married, they chose having casual sex or becoming single mothers or prostitutes or sex workers and said that they would rather work for a pimp or somebody that would make them go to work or somebody that would make them into a single mom. And those are the type of relationships they chose to support. And they said, it's kind of crazy. They said, if you would support a person that made a girl into a single mom, why is he picking up cigarettes off the ground? Did anybody buy him a pack of cigarettes and be like, thanks for not making my daughter into a single mom? Thanks for being married ever since, you know, April 30th of 2004 is what your marriage license say. Thanks for still being here and keeping it real and not smoking crack ever in life, not doing crystal meth ever in life, not being a drug dealer, not being a pimp, you know, not ever pressing charges against a female, but always telling the truth whenever you figure out what's going on about what you think has been happening or what you are a witness of. So, you know, it got me a cigarette. I'm trying to save it, you know, because, you know, this one seemed clean. But they said all this because somebody wanted to be somebody. They said the person that said that they a sister or whoever said they was a sister of my wife, they supported the other people that they said was a family. The people that got girls pregnant and made them single moms in the ninth grade. They said one of the girls was pregnant in the ninth grade. They supported the people that was having sex. And they showed love to the people that made girls into single moms. And they was mean to me for being married. Like, that don't even make sense. If you can love a person that made your daughter into a single mother, why you can't love a person that never made a girl into a single mom? If you can love a person that made a girl into a prostitute, why you can't love a dude that never made a person into a prostitute? And why you can't love a girl that never made a person into a prostitute? You know, it go both ways. Because my wife never made a person into a prostitute. You know, that's what they say. And I never made a person into a prostitute. If you can love a person that made somebody go to work, why you can't love a person that said, baby, my wife, you know, my wife's name is not baby, of course, but you know, sometimes I call her baby or baby girl or stuff like that. But it was like, if you can love a person that said you gotta go to work and made you go to work, why you can't love a person that told a girl you don't have to go to work? Whether I had to pick these cigarettes up off the ground or something like that. And they're like, why are you even smoking in the first place? Be like, if you didn't know where your children is, and they said you had 3 children, and you didn't know where your wife was, and you know you have a marriage license, supposed to have a wife, wouldn't you be at least a little bit stressed? So instead of being the type that's out fighting or killing or murdering or, you know, other people probably need their money, you know, if you know what I'm saying. Like, if they not the ones that, you know, had anything to do with any of this stuff, you know, they shouldn't be getting in trouble for what somebody else did, you know. Same way I was never supposed to get in trouble for what somebody else did. But I did a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's wrong what they did to me. There's no way around it. People was yelling and screaming at me, talking about what they was gonna do to me. And you know, they was like, it's crazy because they was like, you know, if people end up dying for that stuff or whatever and going around doing stuff, then maybe they shouldn't have been saying what they was gonna do to me. You know, stuff like that. And then, you know, that's what they be saying, you know. So I don't really know what any of that stuff mean because, you know, they was like, you know, they said when people be saying that they gonna do stuff to you and then they end up dying from doing that stuff because somebody said it's called a terroristic threat, Brandon. If somebody stood in front of you and you hadn't said nothing to them at all, and they were saying they're gonna get somebody to drag you out of here, and they was gonna get a group of people to do something to you, bullying the dude in the wheelchair, you know, after I already been abused so many times before, wanting to be somebody, wanting to be big, bad, and tough instead of picking on somebody your own size, wanting to be a big bully and stuff like that, wanting to gang up and wanting to group up on somebody, wanting to claim that you somebody's boss, you know what I'm saying? You know, people with they got that want to be somebody attitude and stuff like that. Instead of telling a girl, look, you ain't got to work for none of that stuff. You don't have to be prostituting or sex working or doing identity theft and fraud and stuff like that. Instead of telling somebody, you know, the way that I would tell somebody, you know, these people that did that kind of stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, hold on. It's the stress, y'all. You know, they say I got post-traumatic stress disorder from being sexually abused ever since I was a child. They was like, so that lady must not be your mom, and that dude must not be your dad, and they must not really be sisters or your wife and stuff like that, because they would be like, wait a minute, that's my sister's husband. He needs some cigarettes, girl. Let's get over there. Make sure he got what he need. Did they sexually abuse you? Make sure he get to the clinic. Make sure he gets some medicine, and make sure that, you know, he ain't got no diseases or no infections and stuff like that. Because if somebody said they was his wife and they sexually abused him and it was not his wife, then he need to go to the doctor. He need to go to the clinic. Like, well, matter of fact, what is his wife? And then that's what I was just telling the dude outside when I got the cigarette. They said since it was a girl that did that stuff to me, they didn't want a girl to get in trouble. But they didn't care about all the times that I got locked up because they don't know how long this been going on. But they didn't want a girl to get in trouble. So it was like, they seemed wrong. She know she was the girl when she sexually abused me. She know she was a girl when she said she was gonna get her brothers on me. She know she was a girl when she decided that she wanted to be working for a pimp or working for somebody doing something that I never told her to do. So it ain't because of me, you know. They say, Brandon, did you ever tell your wife or any girl to use the name April Rashawn Williams and all of them different people using the same identity? Is that something that you ever told them to do? That's what they say. And I'm like, nope, I never told him to do any of that stuff. They're like, well, I'm not supposed to be in trouble for something that somebody else did. They said, having a marriage license, you're not even supposed to be picking them cigarettes up off the ground because your wife's supposed to be here with you, you know. And if you did need to pick up cigarettes off the ground, since some seem to be wrong with your leg, and since she seemed to know how to walk, because they never heard of her leg being broke before, well, she should at least be helping you pick up cigarettes off the ground, you know, being a wife to you instead of being a worker or employee or a sister to somebody else, is what they say. So when a person said that they your wife's sister, it'll be like, what was your wife's sister at any of your court dates when you was beat up and falsely accused? What was your wife's sister saying? Hey, wait a minute. That's her sister husband. Y'all can't do this to him. He ain't never make a girl into a single mom. He showed love to every female when he did that. Because every girl is somebody's daughter. And you know, every daughter got a mom. And then he showed love to every male when he didn't make a girl into a single mom. Because, you know, every girl is someone's daughter, which means every girl got a dad, you know, whether he dead or alive, it's a dad. Same way with the mom. Whether she dead or alive, it's a mom. It's either your dead mom or your dead dad or your dad or your mom who is not dead. You know, the same way like with a child. He never made a girl a single mom, whether she had an abortion or a miscarriage or her baby died. So whether it's her dead baby that died, or whether it's her dead baby from an abortion, or whether it's her dead baby from a miscarriage, he never made anybody die, you know. So didn't he show love to every male and every female, every mom, every dad when he never made any of your people die? Now, it ain't my fault if certain stuff you said and you did to me your people ended up dead from you doing stuff like that, you know, the way that it was explained to me. Cause it was like, you see, ain't no shame. So it was like, did you tell the people at the court that? I'm like, yeah. I went over to the court and I told him that. They said, yeah, it was a girl with him saying her name was April Williams. She said she his wife. It looked like different girls in the picture. And then, like, what did they do about it? They acted like they didn't kill. You know what I'm saying? They acted like they ain't really want to talk about it and stuff like that. Talking about, you know, it's a girl, so since it's a girl, like, what did she get in trouble for? You know, it was like, you didn't say that when it was August 9th, 2015, and I was locked up all of 2015, all of 2016, all of 2017, went to mental health court in 2017, 2018, 2019. Oh, but if it's a girl, you don't want her to get in trouble. You didn't care about me getting in trouble. They're like, wait, sister. What sister was there saying, nah, Brandon ain't supposed to be in jail? Like, you know, think about it. I'm 39 years old today. They said, what dude do you know that's 39 years old that never made a child born in sin? Or, if you don't believe in it, born outside of having a marriage license or being married to the person your marriage license say, and at the time actually having the marriage license, being married when the child was born. It was like, most people been had a baby before getting a marriage license. Some people don't never get a marriage license at all. And some people been did all kind of sick stuff before and after, and been had different families with different people and stuff like that. And it's evidence of it because they like the children and the people who exist are the evidence that some people was born and made, you know what I'm saying, outside of being married or having a marriage license, stuff like that. And I never did no stuff like that. So like, this is wrong. You know, they like, this is wrong, all of this stuff like this. So they'd be like, why would they do this stuff to you or whatever? They was like, oh no, I guess they punishing me for being married. So you said somebody sent you a message inside of I think they called it an email or something, and they were talking about their wife's sister or something about that my wife is their sister. I'm like, when would you ever be in a sister to my marriage? When did you ever say, ooh, congratulations, Abrandon's wife, on being married? Congratulations, Abrandon, y'all been married for so long. When did you ever, and if you was a sister of my wife, why you ain't never said, hey, Brandon, different girls been using the name APRYL and stuff like that, and it's abuse to my sister when they abused her marriage, you know, when they was sexually abusing you, Brandon. It's abuse because it was like, that's not loving your sister if you're not loving her marriage. And it's like, and your marriage license said 2004, and they said none of the other girls that said they was her sister, they didn't have a marriage license in 2004, right? That's what they said. They said some of them was divorced, or some of them was widows, or some of them wasn't married at all. So while I was suffering and being married, picking up cigarettes off the ground, getting locked up and stuff, for with no victims, just I don't know wives doing this stuff. They're like, what was the other people doing? They say they was having sex with each other and getting people pregnant and making girls into single moms or having abortions, you know, murdering their unborn child. And they was partying and showing love to people that made girls into single moms. And when I say people, because you know, they're like, some of the girls made themselves into single moms because some of the girls know what they was doing when they had sex, and they didn't ever even want to get married in the first place. They just wanted to have a baby so that they can get a Section 8 apartment, and so that they can get food stamps, and so that they can get a Social Security check. So they were like, some of the girls intentionally made themselves into a single mom, and the dude actually did want to marry them, but they never wanted to marry the dude. They just wanted to have a baby with the dude and claim being a single mom, so that, you know, because they said that they was the type of girls that really don't like dudes, and they just wanted to be sexually active with other girls, and they just needed a dude to get them pregnant so that they can get Section 8 and so that they can get an apartment and so that they can get food stamps by claiming that they have a dependent child, is what they said some of them did. And they say that's what one of the people that was using the name and my marriage license and the identity, they said that's what she was trying to do with me, you know. And they said she was with the police when I went to jail. they said that that's why they ain't want to do that at the courthouse, because like they don't care about me being abused. They just don't want to look like they did what they did, and they don't want to get in trouble for what they did. And I'm like, if you don't want to get in trouble for what you did, it's too late. Maybe you shouldn't have did what you did. You can't just be going around sexually abusing somebody, using somebody's marriage license and all that stuff. And then when they say all of that stuff is a crime, be like, oh, but you a girl, you don't want to get in trouble for it. If you sexually abused him, then if you go to jail, they say they'll end up sexually abusing you. Well, you should have been worrying about people getting sexually abused when you did it to me. It's too late to worry about that. Now you know you was a girl when you did that. If I'm 39 years old and I never sexually abused anyone, because being married, the only person that I ever been with is a person who was using his marriage license and claiming that she is my wife. So by using the marriage license and claiming she is my wife, they said it's no such thing as sexually abusing your own wife when it's just you and her. Then it's no such thing as sexually abusing her. Because having a marriage license is the same thing as a consent form that she agreed being in a sexual relationship with me, you know. So it's no such thing as sexual abuse, because they like the marriage license is the consent form when you marry. So, somebody had tried making me feel like having sex with my own wife is sexual abuse. Somebody tried making me feel like having sex with my own wife is sexual abuse. Somebody tried making me feel like having sex with my own wife is sexual abuse. And when somebody tried making me feel like having sex with my own wife is sexual abuse, they sexually abused me for having sex with my own wife. A person was using his marriage license, a person is using his marriage license because it is a marriage. And, they said they was watching me having sex with someone using his marriage license saying she is my wife, and said that it is sexual abuse for me having sex with a person saying she is my wife using a marriage license being my wife. I'm like, that don't really make sense. How can having sex with my own wife be sexual abuse if it's just me and her? You know, since I was never in a threesome, or I never invited another dude or another girl into a sexual situation with me and my wife, having a marriage license, it's not sexual abuse with, I did with my marriage license and my wife. But they say sexual abuse is when people was false claiming being her sister or being her, or using the name, or trying to, and was confusing me about the identity of my wife. And they said it don't matter if those people are a girl or not. They supposed to go to jail for a long time for all of this sexual abuse that they did to me, because ever since I was 5 years old in elementary school, I've been a mental health patient. So way before I got a marriage license, if I was ever targeted, then that means they targeted a disabled person and sexually abused him. And it's people there at the courthouse talking about they don't want a girl to get in trouble. So wait a minute. What about the Americans with Disability Act? What about respect for all marriages? All of that stuff. Since I have a marriage license, respect for all marriages. What if somebody did that to your child? What if somebody said they was your child husband or your child wife, and they sexually abused your child, and your child got locked up over and over again every time the other person wanted to have sex with some police officer or somebody that was being her pimp, or somebody that she was working for outside of the marriage in some kind of scam, and your child kept getting locked up and sexually abused over and over and over again. And then your child was picking up cigarettes off the ground and stuff like that, not knowing well their spouse is, because somebody else wanted to have sex with your child or the spouse of your child, and tried putting a wedge in between them and making them go separate ways. Would you feel different if they did that to your child? Cause it's like something wrong if it has to be your child in order for you to say that it's wrong, you know. So it's like, yeah, and it's like, do you have any evidence of anybody with the name April Rashawn Williams ever being arrested or ever being locked up or ever going to jail? Nope. So it's like it do look like the police or somebody in law enforcement has been involved in this situation because all of this sexual abuse, if that is the name of your wife, if your wife's name is April Rashawn Williams, then anybody claiming to be the sister or this or that or whatever, it don't matter what the name of your wife is, if it's some kind of identity theft involved. But in order for somebody to say that they was a sister, they would need evidence of when they like these people in making know that, you know. And you know, I think my God for the good that people have done for me, whether they was in Macon, Georgia, Alabama, or anywhere, the good that people have done for me, I thank my God for the good people have done for me, you know. So it was like anybody that was saying that she a sister of your wife, when a sister of your wife, as evidence, when she be saying the same thing that hey, they been sexually abusing the husband of my sister, you know. She got a marriage license that says April 30th, 2004, and people been sexually abusing her husband. He picking up cigarettes off the ground. He's supposed to have a wife. She's supposed to be helping him pick up cigarettes off the ground. And that's what he got to do. And it ain't no shame in it. If he's stressed, you'd rather be picking up cigarettes off the ground and then being a prostitute having sex on the ground. You know, you'd rather be picking up cigarettes off the ground than looking for drugs and crack off the ground and using them, you know, stuff like that. You'd rather be picking up cigarettes off the ground than making girls into single mothers or being a baby making machine or whatever. You know, you'd rather be picking up cigarettes off the ground than pretending to be somebody's husband or pretending to be somebody's wife while sexually abusing the husband or the wife of somebody because you're not really the husband and you're not really the wife because I have a marriage license and somebody did some kind of identity theft, you know, it's the way that, you know, it was explained to me. And I was talking to the dude that gave me a cigarette about it. And they're like, that's wrong. They're like, if somebody did that to anyone's child, so it's like, if they not going to do nothing about it, then they part of the problem. Because it going to be too late when somebody do that to your child. Because they be like, if you let people feel like they can get away with doing this kind of stuff, if it happens to you, it's because you let people feel like they can get away with doing this kind of stuff. So it's like, it'll be too late if it happened to your child because you would have to send a strong message that people are supposed to not be able to do this kind of stuff to people. If a person has a marriage license or whatever, it was like anybody claiming to be a sister or a family or something, they'd be like, where is his mom? Where is his dad? Where is the people that say they was his brothers? Or where are the people that say that they a sister or his wife? You know, when they, like, if they say that they his wife's sister, why they wasn't supporting her marriage? They wasn't being sisterly. They weren't being sister-like. They were like, does he have any social media pages? They're like, does he has any YouTube video pages? They was like, is anybody in the comment section claiming that they his sisters or they claiming that they his wife's sister showing love? Is anybody on any of his social media pages claiming that they the sister of his wife showing love? If they didn't show love to his wife, if they didn't show love to his marriage, if they didn't show love to him not making girls into single moms, if they didn't show love to him, then it seems like it ain't no love in them. Because if you can show love to a person that made a girl into a single mom, if you can show love to a person that is got a girl pregnant and then the situation ended in abortion and the child died because of the sex somebody else had, if you can show love to them for the wrong that they did, you know, making a child die, I mean, where is the evidence of you showing love to me? A person that never did any of that stuff. So it'd be like, do you have any like cards or letters or any gifts or any stuff like from a person that says she's your wife's sister or a person that said that she part of your wife's family or any of that stuff? Nope. Do you have any cards or evidence or any gifts from a person that said that like they're part of, you know, according to your birth certificate, Yolanda Judson's family or something? Nope. So they don't have any evidence of being brothers or being sisters or being family with you. They don't have any evidence of being brothers or being sisters or being family to you or your wife. They don't have any evidence of being family, brothers or sisters, or showing any love to you or your wife or your marriage. But it's a lot of evidence when they, they say when they do the investigation, they ask you, where was you April 30th, 2004? Where was you August 9th, 2015? Where was you when they said he had a child born August 31st, 2004, July 18th, 2006, and October 6th, 2008, and he never got them back? Where was you when he walked away from all the trouble and stress in the state of Alabama and said he'd rather be in Georgia picking up cigarettes off the ground, not murdering, not killing, not making girls into single moms, and not being mad at people who fought it's not that it didn't have anything to do with it, and wondering what they gonna do about people doing stuff like this? What was you when he walked away from it all, the non-violent type of way? What was you when you look through his criminal background and he don't have any victims of any violent crimes? He don't have any victims of any sex abuse, stuff like that. And there's no one saying that, he don't have any situation where he ever got girls pregnant, you know, and then making abortions and miscarriages or single moms, because that happened after getting somebody pregnant, is what they say. They say when a person get pregnant, then they might have an abortion, or then they might have a miscarriage, or then they might be a single mom from the six somebody had with them, and I didn't do any of it. So they was like, if you could love somebody that got 2 and 3 baby mamas and 2 and 3 baby daddies, why you can't love a person with a marriage license who never made a person into a single mom? Why was he ever in jail? Why was he ever abused? The youngest of what they said is a family. And they said the people that said they were sisters of my wife or any of that stuff, the girls that say they was a sister, none of them is the youngest person in that family. They said a boy was the youngest person in that family, or the people that said that they was the family of Linda Williams, according to the birth certificate of April Williams, if that's the name, it said Linda Williams, and they said the youngest person that they said was in that family is a boy. So a sister would never know what it feels like being the youngest in the family, being abused ever since 1984 with no victims. So when they did this stuff to me, they can't say, oh, they was doing that stuff to Brandon because of what he did to them. Because they was like, Brandon never did none of that stuff to them. Brandon never pretended being somebody's husband or somebody's wife and taking turns having sex with them or making girls into single moms or having baby showers or sex parties or threesomes. He never had a threesome at all. He never had a sex party at all. He never made a girl into a single mom. He never was a grown person having sex with a child. He never pressed charges against a female ever in life. And he was never that type of police officer that had ever put handcuffs on anybody and took them to jail. He was never that kind of judge that ever sat in a courtroom and then sentenced somebody to do time or time served or to go to prison. He never did any of that stuff that they did to him, to them. So it's funny, it's strange what I mean by funny, if they can dish it out, but they can't take it if somebody did the same right back to them. So like, what sister? What the sister at? Is she you? Hey, if you claim that you love marriage, if you claim that you don't like people being single moms or single mothers or baby mamas and baby daddies and stuff like that, and then, I'm a person that's not a single mom, not a single mother, not a baby mama, not a baby daddy. I'm a person that never made anybody into any of those things, with love. I mean, what love is? A person to tell you all day, don't make girls into single moms. A person to tell you all day, don't make girls into single mothers. A person will tell you that stuff all day. So when I just sit here and didn't make nobody, then what they do, they want to say, oh, well then let's just act like, let's just play games with his marriage and stuff like that. And be like, this is wrong. This is messed up. So it'd be like, oh, so that's why, this crazy. So it'd be like, what if somebody did that to you? That's what they say. What if you got a marriage license and somebody was like, now she want to be the star of the family. The other sister want to be treated like God and stuff like that. She don't care that Brandon got married first. They were like, all of the people that they say is the sister, they had sex and had a child born and wasn't married, having a marriage license when the child was born. They made children that, they said was born and the mom and the dad was not married when the child was born. I never made children born or any pregnancy when the mom and dad was not married, Because if somebody was sexually abusing me, then they said being sexually abused is not the same as having sex. If somebody was sexually abusing me and got pregnant from sexually abusing me, then they made themselves into a single mom because they were sexually abusing me, and I never asked to be sexually abused. If something like that happened is what they say. So they say if a girl was falsely using an identity and sexually abused me, claiming that she is my wife and was sexually abusing me and got pregnant while sexually abusing me, that means I wasn't having sex with her because the sex was not consensual if something like that happened, and it would be sexual abuse what she did to me, meaning that she would have got herself pregnant because she was sexually abusing a mental health patient, a person that's been a mental health patient ever since elementary school, according to my medical records, and that she was supposed to be in jail. She's supposed to go to the courtroom and be in jail and tell them she was false claiming and sexually abusing me, and she was saying that she my wife, and that she know that it was other girls the whole time, and she know that I was a mental health patient the whole time, and she know that I had already been abused ever since elementary school, and she took advantage of the situation and jumped on the bandwagon, and she sexually abused me and false claimed a name and a marriage license and all of that stuff, while all of this time I have been being a husband. And they said, why do you think that she did that? They said, a girl that said that she a sister of a wife or a family or my wife, she wanted to claim that she the only one in the family that's married. So she was like, if she can ruin Brandon's marriage and stuff like that, then she could claim that she wanted to claim being the God of this world and stuff and the only one that's married. So it was like, does her marriage license say April 30th, 2004? They said April 30th, 2004, none of them girls that said their name was Williams, Linda Williams, her daughters, none of them had a marriage license. They either said they was divorced, or they either said that they was a baby mama or a single mom, or they either was just people having casual sex. And instead of being supportive of my marriage, instead of encouraging being married, instead of telling me I did good, instead of telling me that being married, when they said for better or for worse, even when you got to pick up cigarettes off the ground for better or for worse, that being a husband is not the same as being a wife. As long as I'm not the one that was prostituting or pimping or selling drugs or using other people's identity while being married and claiming with someone else, then it's not my fault, being a grown person, having a marriage license, being who I am. So it was like, it seemed like it's too late for somebody to say that they're a sister now, because if you spent all of this time supporting the other people that was having sex, and you spent all this time supporting the people that was making girls into single moms and having abortions trying to hide the pregnancy, or having miscarriages because they had sex with dudes that was pimps and that beat them up and that told them to go out there and get them some a pack of cigarettes or something to smoke instead of being like me and just not being ashamed to pick them up off the ground and be like, you know, get it from nature, stuff like that. It ain't my fault the sex they chose having and the people that they chose having sex with, you know. And it's not my fault if somebody, you know, was falsely using my marriage license and the identity and all of that stuff like that. And it was like, you know, they said those are called crimes, federal crimes, identity theft. And they said it was called, it's crazy because they said even if she not married to you, it's still called spousal abuse in a way, because it was like, since I'm somebody's spouse having a marriage license, this is abuse right now. You understand? Because it's like, this is abuse if your wife not here and somebody else had her somewhere else, whether she was trying to work for them or do something for them, and you left in a wheelchair doing stuff like this. What, they want to laugh at you and be like, ha ha ha, look at him, he in a wheelchair, he don't know where his wife is. Like, yeah, that's abuse. That's mental and emotional abuse doing it stuff. And when you got a video and stuff like that, and you telling people about stuff like that or whatever, then they know I'm where I'm supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So it was like, yeah, look at him. He picked up cigarettes off the ground, all this and all of that or whatever. And you know, it's some people that say they think it's real sexy. You know, that's what some people say. The way that I never made a girl into a prostitute, and then somebody was already a prostitute, you know, and it's not my fault. They say they think it's real sexy that it's not my fault if somebody was a prostitute because I never made anyone into a prostitute. They was already doing it. Some people say they think it's real sexy the way that I never made a girl into a single mom. You know, some people say they think it's real sexy the way I never lied about my marriage license. And you know, some people say they think it's real sexy to, well, even if it's a girl, to, well, I said she's supposed to be in trouble for what she did. It's not my job to press charges against them, because the same way the state pressed charges on August 9th, 2015, couldn't the same state press charges, you know, now? Because the state either believe in pressing charges or they don't. So when a person has a marriage license, just like on August 9th, 2015, and the state press charges, well, you know, I have a marriage license, so just like August 9th, 2015, seemed like the state need to be pressing them charges against whoever it was that sexually abused me. They were saying their name was April Williams. They went to all of them court dates every time saying they named April Williams if it's not the same person. They went to all of those mental health court dates saying their name was April Williams out here if it's not the same person. You know, the person that was using those debit cards and those social security numbers and those identities of my marriage license, you know, if it's not the same person and they was playing with different identities, it seemed like it's about time for them charges to get pressed, because isn't this what the state's supposed to do? And isn't it what the Fed's supposed to do? The federal government? Because they said those are federal crimes if they was playing with a social security check from the U.S. Treasury. And those are federal and state charges if they did that in the state of Georgia. Because if your wife not here with you and somebody claiming to be her sister, then her sister would be guilty too if her sister isn't telling, you know, as a witness of what people has been using her sister's identity and her sister's marriage license doing. So, you know, it was like, if it's about being a sister, ain't nobody stopping you from being a sister. Ain't nobody stopping you from supporting the marriage of your sister at all. Ain't nobody stopping you from supporting a guy that never made a girl into a single mom's, you know, at all. That never made girls into single moms at all. You know, ain't nobody stopping you from showing love and support. Because the same way you showed love to whoever made you into a single mom when you was giving it up to them, it's the same way you can show love by telling the truth about what's been going on. The same way you was showing love when you was being a prostitute for a pimp and you wanted a pimp to get some money and you wanted a pimp to have something to eat. It's the same way you can show love by making sure me, a person who is not a pimp, get some money and get something to eat. The same way you was showing love to people who was doing whatever they was doing. It's the same way you can show love to me, you know, a person who didn't do none of this stuff they was doing. Because I'm not really trying to be nobody or anything like that. Like, you know, this stuff that they was doing and stuff like that. So they was like, you know, It's crazy, right? Ain't it crazy? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, so that's why I'm smoking these cigarettes. Because they be like, why you even smoking these stuff or whatever? I'm like, stress, man. They're like, are you still like this? Like your mental health treatment. It's like, are you suicidal or are you a threat to yourself or others? No, I'm not suicidal and I'm not a threat to myself or others. But you would understand why it would feel very crazy when all of this happened. So it was like somebody being falsely claiming being a sister. They were like, certainly a sister or your wife would be like, boy, you've been through the better and the worst, or whatever it's called in marriage, for better or for worse. You've been through for better and for worse, and you still here, not knowing where your wife is. Other people would have been left and just moved on, Brandon. But you stayed. Show that boy some love is what my wife's sister would say. You know, because, if you was the sister of my wife, when you said you my wife's sister, then you saying I'm married. Because in order for you to be the sister of my wife, that means I have a wife. And, a sister of my wife would say, yeah, being married is more important. They don't care if they lose the house as long as being married. They don't care if they lose the business as long as being married. They don't care about if you got to pick up cigarettes off the ground. Being married is more important. They don't care about a family reunion or a sex party or a get together or being rich or being famous, as long as being married, because you wouldn't want your sister being a single mom. You wouldn't want your sister being a prostitute. You wouldn't want your sister being a sex worker. You wouldn't want your sister being separated from her own husband. You wouldn't want your sister, being the type of person who then got divorced and went from him to her and all of this stuff. And, you know, you wouldn't want your sister doing that kind of stuff when you want your sister being with a person, who has one marriage license, one wife, because they said, this is America and you only supposed to have one wife. So when you want justice for your sister, and what I mean by justice, I don't know what they mean by it, but somebody's been using your sister marriage license and birth certificate, and they been sexually abusing your sister's husbands, you know, they been sexually abusing your sister husband or whatever it's called, however they say it. It sounds like it had an S on it. So I'm talking about me, one husband. They been sexually abusing your sister husband ever since he was a child. He been sexually abused. They said he had 3 children. They took his children. A court said they was in need of supervision. I don't really know what that's about. He don't really know what that's about. They said the children's supposed to be grown, and then all this and that. And then next thing you know, they said it was some insurance scam. They was talking about killing him and saying that he was the black sheep of the family, and was saying that they was gonna get some insurance money and stuff like that. And they was saying that they was having sex with his wife and stuff like that, and all them different girls looked that way. And then he told everybody on the internet, and then now they want to act like they don't know what happened, but it's like, where is his wife? If she your sister, is what they would say to the sister. And be like, and what have you said or what have you done about this? Because if you love your sister so much, you would love the fact that your sister married. And if you love your sister so much and you love the marriage of your sister, they said, look at the marriage license. The marriage license says, see, this how marriage license look. It got a name for the husband and it got a name for the wife. They said a marriage license has a husband and a wife. They said if you love your sister and you love her marriage, you would have shown love to the marriage, which means showing love to the husband and to the wife. To the husband and to the wife. You can't say you like your sister, but you tried to make her feel bad about being married first, you know, first, you know, first, because they said, what you mean by first? They said, whatever they call a family, my wife, if they claiming that they her sisters, was the first person having a husband, husband being a virgin, waiting all this time, stayed here all of this time, told the truth about whatever I think or whatever I know was going on, and never went out trying to find or having sex with her sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't get down like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the sisters at to tell that? You know? The sisters gonna tell if they had, you know, sex and children born, you know, without being married, without having a marriage license and stuff like that? Is they part of some kind of different religion, or they believe in some different God or some different sexuality? Is that why they was being mean to me? Was they discriminating against me because of my sexuality? Of, you know, my sexuality is the sexuality of a child should not be born outside of being married and having a marriage license.